Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. This is our green journal, which we use to document the changes of a tree that we had adopted in the very beginning of the school year. This tree was right outside our classroom window, so we were fortunate enough to be able to see it change as the seasons changed on a daily basis. But once a season, I did have the kids look in their journal and we would do a page to kind of document those changes we saw and observed. Let's open up to the first page. It says, this tree was adopted on October 9th, 2019 by Miss Snyder's UPK class. Here's the tree at the end of the summer season. It still has most of its green leaves and not many had fallen yet. Right around this time of year when we first observed our tree, I had all the kids make a prediction about what color they thought the leaves would change in the fall. And then we did the first part of the next page. So on this page, we started on the bottom and we made our predictions right in October. It says, I think the leaves will turn brown. And each child had to come up with their own prediction of what color it would change. Then, once the tree did change, but it took quite some time, we actually drew a picture of it. So it says, this is what our tree looks like in the fall. And our tree had lots of yellow leaves, just a few green leaves left on the bottom, and some brown and orange leaves had started to develop on the side of the tree. I also drew some of the leaves that had fallen because if you remember, in the fall there were tons and tons of leaves all over the grass under our tree. So I made sure to draw those too. That's one of the ways we know our seasons are changing where we live, because the leaves on some trees will start to fall and they change colors. The next season we observed our tree and made documentation was in the winter. So it says, this is what our tree looks like in the winter. And I had everyone look outside at the tree to see how many inches of snow were on it. I had all the kids take a guess. So you'll see that there are different numbers, but Miss Slater said, I think there are 2 inches of snow on our tree. And it's okay, whatever number you thought is great. I thought there were 2 in some of these pockets on our tree, but there were some places on the tree where there were more and some places where there were less. Some branches had no snow on them at all. I also drew some snow under the tree. That's one of the ways we know it's winter where we live. It snows a lot in New York State. On the last page of our journal, which is this season, we're going to draw a picture of what our tree looks like now. It says, this is what our tree looks like in the spring. And it's springtime right now. I took a picture the other day of our tree, and this is what it looks like right now. As you can see, it doesn't have as many green leaves as it does at the end of the summer season, but it is starting to have some little buds grow. They're light green and almost yellowish too, and they cover the branches of the tree. So, now it's time. We're going to draw this tree in our journal. And there's a picture of this tree on your parents' phone so that you can look at it when you're doing the last page of your green journal. I'm going to draw my tree right here, and when I'm done, I'm going to label it with the different parts of a tree. Okay, I'm going to start with the trunk. The trunk is long and skinny on our tree, and there are lots and lots and lots and lots of branches. And we can still see them because there's not many leaves on the tree right now. It's still just covered in little buds. So I'm going to draw lots of branches, color my tree in, and I might even kind of do some brown scribbles to show more branches. Okay, now I'm going to draw the little buds on this tree, and I'm going to do some little swirls. That's what we kind of call them. I'm using a light green because it's not really like a dark green tree right now. It doesn't have many leaves on it. I'm just going to use a light green. And most of the buds are kind of on the top of the tree where the sun can really get them. So I'm not going to draw as many buds here close to the trunk because they're kind of covered by the other buds on top of them. They don't get as much sunshine there, so they don't grow as much. I'm going to also add some yellow to my tree. Some of the buds look a little yellowish in the sunlight. Okay, now I need to draw what's underneath my tree. And right now there is a beautiful garden. So I'm going to draw that garden. Has lots of flowers. I think there's tulips out there, and there are daffodils too. There's some yellow flowers. And I think some white flowers, which I won't really be able to draw. I do know that in the beginning of the season there are pretty tulips sometimes out there, so I'll just draw some, even though there aren't any in our picture right now. I do know that we get some pretty red flowers there too. Sometimes the bunnies eat them though, so that's why they might not be there right now. Now, you don't know this, but under the tree, you can't really see it right now, there are roots. And in the one video I showed you the bamboo roots, and so I'm going to draw those too. I will shade in some grass, because there is grass, but underneath the tree, under the ground where you can't really see, there are roots that help the tree get water and nutrients. So I'm going to draw some roots. There we go. Okay, now it's time to label our tree. So I'm going to get a pencil and I'm going to draw some lines to show where the leaves are. So here's the leaves, the branches, the trunk, and the roots are down here under the tree. Sometimes we do see the roots start to come up a little bit above the grass, and when you go on a hike, you got to be careful because sometimes there are roots in the path that can maybe make your bike fall over if you run over them, or you can trip over them. So we do sometimes see roots above the surface, and in like that bamboo plant, we see the roots because it's in water. But for our tree, we don't see any roots. So I'll show you one more time. All we see are these new leaves that are starting to form, or the little buds on the tree, the trunk, the branches, here's the flowers, and underneath here where you can't see, there are roots. I bet if we looked closer under the tree right here where the flowers are, we would maybe see a couple roots kind of showing, but we can't really see them too good in this picture, and we definitely can't see them underground unless we have x-ray vision. Okay, let's read the last part of this journal and then we'll be all done. It says, I know the different parts of our tree. I hope you had fun doing our green journal throughout the year. I sure did. It was so fun to adopt a tree right outside our classroom and make observations of it throughout the year. I hope you enjoyed finishing your journal. Send me pictures when you're all done. Bye!